everyone, it's me again, and welcome back to Let's Up the History Review, here your favorite channel, which is the one, the only, the wife, seat people Christ. And this is the History Review, where we go back and visit history. So, we've been looking at Roe v. Wade, and last time we answered the question who was Jane Roe in the Roe v. Wade case, and also looked at her background. So, for today, we're finally going in depth in the Roe v. Wade case. So we'll be looking at how the lawsuit began and what were the arguments given and what was the decision given. So let's get to it. In June 1969, a 21-year-old Norma McConvey discovered that she was pregnant for the third time. She then attempted to obtain an illegal abortion, but the recommended clinic had been closed down by the authorities. A physician put McConvey in contact with an attorney, Henry J. McCluskey, who organized abortions. McCluskey then put McConvey in contact with Linda Coffey and Sarah Riddington, who were looking for women like McConvey. Linda Coffey and Sarah Riddington were recent graduates of the University of Texas Law School, and Linda Coffey and Sarah Riddington had always had a plan to legally challenge and overturn the Texas restrictive abortion law in the federal court, and they needed a plaintiff who wanted a legal abortion and couldn't afford to get one. The first clients were a married couple, but the wife wasn't pregnant, so they didn't think their case would be taken. So they decided that they needed to find um, a pregnant woman who wanted an abortion and was willing to take her case to the court. Linda Coffey and Sarah Riddington also wanted to have the odds in their favor by representing the case in front of three judges, and this was only possible in Dallas, in Texas. Um, in early 1970, McConvey met with Coffey and Riddington, and they said McConvey was what they were looking for because McConvey was white, young, pregnant, and wanted an abortion. Now, McConvey wanted her identity to remain hidden. We talked about that last time. Um, then Linda Coffey then assigned Norma McConvey with a made-up name of Jane Roe and filed a class action lawsuit in the federal court on March 3, 1970, saying that the anti-abortion law was unconstitutional. Linda Coffey then named the Dallas District Attorney Henry Wade as the defendant. By then, Norma was 6 months pregnant and she continued to live anonymously in Dallas. The case was argued on June 7, 1970. It got re-argued on October 11, 1972, and it was decided on January 22, 1973. In June 7, 1970, a special three-court judge court of the U.S. District of the Northern of Texas had the case and ruled in McConvey's favor. Both parties appealed to the Supreme Court. 15 days prior to the ruling, McConvey gave birth and put her daughter for adoption. On April 22, 1971, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to take the Roe v. Wade case. Now we'll be looking at the oral arguments made by both parties on
October 11, 1972.
starting with the Texas defendants. So what I want to do is to look at both oral arguments that were given. First, by uh, by Henry Wade, the people who were supporting him in the anti-abortion law, and we also look at the sides of Norma Coonville, Linda Coffey, and Sarah Riddington, those who were in support of the abortion. So I want us to look at the Texas defendants. I want us to start with them and what their arguments. So the Texas defendants had three main arguments uh, in this case to defend the anti-abortion statute. The first argument that they made is that the state has an interest in the safeguarding, maintaining medical standards and protecting a potential life. So they wanted to protect. They said that it is in their best interest to protect a potential life. The second reason is that a fetus is a person protected by the 14th Amendment. The third argument is that protecting a potential life um, from the time of its conception is appealing to the state interest. So what they did was what the right is currently doing right now is making a really good use of words. So what they're doing is saying that a fetus is a person, despite all the medical facts behind the whole thing. So that is what we are currently saying.
They are
The
using conspiracy theories and
using words to best appeal to their audience. So like they're using a certain way words to just make they're using a certain ways you using a certain words to make people to appeal to people's interest, and it is working, and it has worked because you don't currently have Roe right now. So yeah, they what they use is a right amount of words, because words, they see that words can go a long way, and the right use of a word can overturn things. So what they do is
they use conspiracy
to
theories.
go against facts. Yeah, they just go, yeah, they use words that have no facts, nothing, and
They use conspiracy
against
theories.
facts. Anyway, uh, Linda Coffey and Sarah Willington made the following arguments. Number one is that the Texas law invaded an individual right to liberty and under the 14th Amendment. The second is that the law infringed on the rights to material family and sexual privacy guaranteed by the Bill of Rights. The third argument is that the right to an abortion is absolutely a person's choice, and they're entitled to end a pregnancy at any time for any reason in the way they choose. So you see both parties, they using the same, what can I say? They're using the same documents to prove, yeah, to actually prove their arguments. Um, they're both using the 14th Amendment to prove their arguments. So you have the Texas defenders using the 14th Amendment to say that they're interested in the safeguarding of a potential life over a person who is living and breathing and working and who has a choice. And then the uh, the Makunbi side, they're using the 14th Amendment to say that the 14th Amendment guarantees the right to privacy. So you have both these parties using the 14th Amendment as their arguments. And right now, currently, you can see that the 14th Amendment is the one that is being attacked, because the 14th Amendment has a lot in it, because the 14th Amendment protects the LGBTQ rights, it
It
protects,
protects civil rights.
you know, and the 14th Amendment, I see it as fundamental, because it has a lot of things embedded in it. The, you got the, um, you got what is this? You got the LGBTQ, the same-sex marriage. You got the same-sex marriage under the 14th Amendment. You got
You have civil rights under the 14th Amendment, and those civil rights protect every individual in the United States. So basically, under the 14th Amendment, as I said, you have a lot
you
embedded in
also
it.
have women giving their rights under the 14th Amendment. You also have the right to privacy under the 14th Amendment. So basically, I see the 14th Amendment as important and fundamental because it has all these things. And once they attack the 14th Amendment, well, all the rights that we know, uh, they just destroy. They just, yeah. Anyway,
On January 22,
the
1973.
Supreme Court ruled 7-3 and they ruled in Makondi's um, favor. So they ruled in favor of Makondi. The Supreme Court split the difference between the two arguments presented. The court recognized that abortion does fall under the right to privacy, and the right to privacy extends to control over pregnancy. The justices acknowledged that being forced to
An
continue
unwanted
a
pregnancy.
pregnancy puts a lot at risk. One, it puts someone's physical health at risk. It puts someone's mental health at risk. It adds to someone's financial burdens, and it shifts someone's social stigma. The court was skeptical of the state's arguments that the constitutional protection begins at conception. The Constitution does not provide a definition of a person, but it does say that uh, its protection covers those who are born or naturalized in the United States. However, the court did not agree that the Constitution guaranteed an absolute right to an abortion. In other words, the privacy right does not prevent states from putting some regulations on abortion. The court created a framework to balance the state's interest with private rights, acknowledging that the rights of a pregnant person may conflict with the um, rights of the states to protect a potential life. So the court decided to define the rights of each party by dividing the pregnancy into three 12-week trimesters. During a pregnant person's first trimester, um, um, the court held that a state cannot regulate abortion beyond requiring that the procedure to be performed by a licensed doctor in a medical state condition. So what they did, they said in the first trimester that, which is the first 3 months, they said that the court has no rights. They have no rights to say anything based on, yeah, they have no rights to say anything. A woman can do whatever she wants to do in the first trimester. Um, in the second trimester, which is um, beginning of 6 months, I think, um, the court held that the state may regulate abortions if the regulations are reasonable related to the health of a pregnant person. The third trimester uh, is that the state's interest in protecting a potential life outweighs the right to privacy. As a result, the state may prohibit abortions unless the abortion is necessary to save a life or a health of a pregnant person. I think this opened a barrier, especially the second and third trimester. Um, this opened a barrier. This opened barriers to abortion access because some states, before the overturn of Roe v. Wade, they used to block abortions for those who needed it by simply denying the procedure by putting women in waiting lists. So, what the states did before Roe was overturned is that, as I said, they put women on waiting lists and yeah, they put women in waiting lists. Some states don't have some states didn't have abortion clinics that were accessible, and well, it was very hard for women to obtain abortion. So basically, the states, conservative states, were really working hard to make sure that it is impossible for women to obtain a legal abortion. Anyway, the Roe v. Wade case took 3 years of trials to reach the Supreme Court, and McConvey never attended a single trial. McConvey in 1973, she then told the press that I am Jane Roe, and soon after the decision was reached, she was like, "Oh, guys, I am Jane Roe. I'm the person who won." I'm kidding. Yeah, she just said that I'm Jane Roe. Anyway, that's enough for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.